Good day everyone, my name is Yevhenii Honcharenko and today I will present you a mathematical model of the business process of higher education institutions based on ontological analysis by Serhiy Semerikov, Elena, Gorda and Yevhenii Honcharenko. The university education system serves as the main means of preparing high-qualified professionals capable of creative perception of rapid changes in economic activities. The market is equally oriented towards the direct customers of higher education services, students, and the buyers of labor, enterprises, and institutions. In a market-based economic system, ensuring the profitability of higher education institutions becomes relevant through business process management. Higher education institutions face the same challenge as commercial structures to be competitive, to operate economically efficiently, and to prepare qualified professionals who meet the requirements of the modern labor market. Studying business processes to improve the efficiency of higher education institutions involves understanding and modeling all business processes, building a strategy that contributes to the growth of all indicators with a clear assessment of acquired knowledge and the effectiveness of the institution's overall functioning. Formalizing and modeling the management business process enables making managerial decisions for the effective administration of the higher education institution. Ontological modeling is the process of constructing, developing, processing, and using the ontology of a specific subject area. Mathematical models in ontology are formalized description of the subject area using mathematical concepts and methods. They enable the representation of knowledge about the subject area in the form of formal structures which can be used for the analysis, comparison, and forecasting of various aspects of this domain. Mathematical models in ontology describe concepts, the relationships between them, and the rules of inference that define logical connections and laws according to which the subject area operates. A mathematical model of a data integration system based on ontology will make it possible to directly use the obtained data for practical tasks in accordance with a formal model. Issues related to the optimality of organizing business processes should be considered only as a certain graph analytical basis for analyzing the educational, scientific, economic, and other activities of higher education institutions. Flexible description of the semantic relationships of terms, integrity constraints, rules of logical derivation. A business process is a sequence of behavior within the organizational structure that forms a system and has the function of achieving a goal. Business processes in higher education institutions are divided into core processes. Core business processes of higher education institutions include the process of university faculty activity oriented towards students, based on the knowledge models in business processes in higher education. You can see a representation of them on this slide. Auxiliary processes. These processes result in auxiliary outcomes of educational activities that add value constrained by costs but do not ensure revenue generation. Auxiliary processes designed to support the vital functions of core and auxiliary processes. Management processes. These processes encompass the entire range of management functions at the level of each business process and the overall business system. Development processes. These processes involve improving the produced educational service, technological development processes, and innovative processes. On this slide, you can see the structure of the organization of the business process of education in higher educational institutions. Education system in higher education institutions can be described by formula number 1, where we have specialties, disciplines of higher education institutions, programs of disciplines, requirements for specialties, business process of higher education institutions. Levels of education in higher education institutions can be described by formula number 2, where we have students, bachelor's degree students, master's degree students, postgraduate students, and duration of study. Education seekers can be described by formula number 3, where we have applicants, instructors, students who have resumed after academic leave, initial training level, final training and competency level. You can see a representation of business process system of higher education institutions on the last figure. As you can see, we have our education system, and in input we have our education seekers and instructors. In other words, the workers of higher education institutions. And on the output, we have our levels of education. Taking into account all of the above, it can be concluded that the use of this mathematical model of ontology in business forms an optimal structure of business process for higher education institutions, specifically in pedagogy. This forms the basis for further description and formalization in the form of regulations, which are fundamental for implementing a process-oriented approach to management. A perspective for further research is the development of effective ways to implement the activity model of higher education institutions based on a process approach, including testing and experimentally verifying the effectiveness of the management model. It should be noted that the constructed model allows for associating and representing at the most general level the resources of applicants, the resources of teachers, and the administrative resources of higher education institutions aimed at obtaining various levels of education. Thus, the constructed model can serve as a representative of the category of mathematical models of the ontology of business process in higher education institutions and specialize in examples by defining specific types of function that enter into it. The following tasks were investigated and addressed in this study. Ontological analysis of modeling business processes in higher education institutions based on document flow, utilizing a structural approach to explore the fundamental business process of higher education institution. An analysis of the structure, functions, and information flows for organizing and managing educational activities in higher education institutions was conducted using a structural approach. Competence, which integrates the characteristics of the quality of the graduate, is the category of educational outcome. In fact, there is a transition from employment management to competence management. The use of an ontological model for the interaction of subjects and objects in the semantic search system ensures the reuse of its knowledge components, provides the user with a clear understanding of both the system capabilities and its behavior, and allows for the assessment of the system's level of intelligence.